be wealthy holistically, and that way you can take care of other people. It's very difficult to be trying to take care of everybody else and you ain't taking care of. So
right, and you don't have the means. Well, y'all got to check this book out. Get Rich. That is the best way you can help the poor.
We're back as another episode of As a Man Readeth. I'm Trey D.
And Gooseberry.
Let's get it going for our next episode. We are still reading The Signs of Getting Rich.
Yep.
And hey, listen, like I said in the first episode, it started off hard. It got a little easier as he explained his concepts and doing certain things in a certain way. You had a quote on last episode, well, a big sentence in the last episode where you talked about the freedom to think what you think. You still anything shifted on that?
No. In the sense of what was being said, to think the ability to think the way you want to think, you will have you have to acquire that ability.
Yeah.
But that's the first step. And so now it's like, well, how do we go about doing that? That is what this book. He tells you in so many words and in so many ways, because it's an older text. It kind of reads, I can say Bible-like, you know what I mean? Where he'll use words like laborious and expenditure, and you know what I mean? Throws these words up in there.
When he hit it, he said the most penurious people, can be rich. Don't necessarily mean or something like that. He was I was like, he right. But penurious means penny pincher and cheap, by the way, for those that don't read books.
Thank you for that.
I believe that out.
He's well, probably not. But there is the thinking stuff from which all things are made, and
absolutely,
which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. I'm gonna keep going. He says, a thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged by the thought. A person can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. If you see what's happening, it's like a hierarchy right now. He's giving you this. He's like, man, all this stuff comes from this thinking stuff. Like everything here is thinking, right? Mm-hmm. So, and a thought, you can have a thought in this thing. Mm-hmm. And then a person can have a thought, and then it just continues to build and grow.
Yeah. I love the other part from I think the first couple of chapters as well, about being in harmony, in harmony. And I think that was that everything is naturally for us. But you also have to be in harmony with everyone else or with everything, so that those things come about. I thought that was a good line, very good line. But chapter 6, he went grand hustle on us. He kept going. He was like, how riches come to you, And I immediately thought, I don't know why, man. I just kept thinking about Young Dro every time I picked it up.
Young Dro. Was there a line specifically? From Dro or from Shoulderling? Nah, he's like
Shoulderling. There's a line on there. He's like, these grand hustle kings of or something. No, grand hustle, the kings of getting rich or something like that. And I don't know why I just kept coming up. I don't know what it is. Okay. I'm gonna listen to it when we finish this podcast too. I'm gonna listen to it again. I'm gonna be just on it, like
on it, just leaning. I'm gonna lean with you then. You know what I'm saying? We leaning. You gotta know, if you can't see it, that's what we're doing. So whether you're religious or not, he clearly is a believer. He says you need not hesitate about asking largely. It is your Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom, said Jesus. He said, and then for those who probably wouldn't, hear that, he says original substance wants to live all that is possible in you and wants you to have all that you can use and will use for the living of the most abundant life. One more sentence. If you fix upon your consciousness the fact that your desire for the possession of riches is one with the desire of the supreme power for more complete expression, your faith becomes invincible.
Come on, fam.
Hey, man.
He says, claim it as it as an already yours.
He just dropping gems. Then he hit you with something Paul said. It is God that worketh in you to will and to do. Come on now. Have a church up in here.
Yeah, you got to do a front row of the church head nod. You know what I'm saying? That's one of these. Which the pastor preacher? That's it right there,
or the one that when they still got their eyes closed, but they.
That's when you go up and when you slap the pulpit, you stand up and you just go up there. Practice still preach. You just slap it and sit back down because security coming.
When you said that, I don't know why I thought of going to a strip club, which I just don't fashion me like that, but go to the strip club and you got a dollar bill and you smack it
and just throw it.
Because security coming, you gotta go back. You're not supposed to touch them.
Yeah, that's I feel that. Yeah.
Which how apropos, because that leads us into gratitude, chapter 7.
I guess it does. Let's go. All right.
He said, the whole process of mental adjustment and attunement can be summed up in one word. Gratitude. Then he says, first, you believe that there is one intelligent substance from which all things proceed. Second, you believe that this substance gives you everything you desire. Third, you relate yourself to it by a feeling of deep and profound gratitude. Bro, if practice this and see what happens. Don't get me wrong, we mess up. We fly off sometimes. Yeah. But if you could believe that, because he says in one of these chapters, I think even before here, don't have conversations with people about this. Just trust. And I was like, whoa, hold up. That sounds a little cultish to me. That's where my mind went.
We're in a cult. Hey, and again, the version I have, this is definitely an old printing press right here. It's got all the little. You can tell that thing was stamped. But keep going.
Where did he say that? I think I might have wrote it down. I don't know where, but he goes into he says, I found it. Do not waste a lot of time thinking or talking about the shortcomings or wrong actions of those in power.
Yes.
Right? He talks about that. And you got to read the book to know more what he says. But what he was saying is let all that stuff go. Like, we don't need to be worried about all these other things that are happening outside of us. Because we get to create this thing. But instantaneously, people don't believe that. Like, so why waste my time attempting to convince you of something that you don't want to believe anyway? But if you had the faith of belief, your whole life shifts. My dad told me to read Proverbs 3 the other day. Yeah, about wisdom. And we talk about the heart. Dad, I hope you listen to this, because my dad don't like the heart. My dad don't think, and hopefully I'm giving him a fair. He believes the heart is sinful. But I don't believe that. I believe the heart can drive you either way, but I don't think it's inherently.
Does he equate the heart? Does he equate the heart with passion?
I don't know, Dad. Tune in, Dad. Tell us what you think. Give us a.
You gotta tell us what's happening. You gotta put some comments. Or come on the podcast. Let's talk about it. I would love to see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Can we get your dad to come on the podcast?
I don't know if he would want to, but I think that would be cool.
That could be crazy. That's Father's Day. Father's Day 1 year.
That might be a good idea.
He gonna come through.
That might be a good idea.
Get both of our in the church dads. My dad's a deacon.
They might start their own podcast.
We get these old school Christians coming in. Hey man, they can talk. Hey. Pastor, we gotta call him pastor. I don't know. It's something. I just feel like they go. Anyway, continue.
He also says, thinking substance always takes the form of that which it thinks about. The grateful mind is, this is what I really appreciate. He said, the grateful mind is constantly fixed upon the best. Therefore, it tends to become the best. It takes the form or character of the best and will receive the best. So conversely, when you don't think of the best, you start to pull in these things. He has a whole diatribe about not getting that.
What channel? What page? Because I know where you're at.
All right, I'm in gratitude. I'm like 3 pages into it. I'm on page 25 in my book, so it should be a start of a paragraph. Because he says to permit your mind to dwell upon the inferior is to become inferior. And to surround yourself with inferior things. I don't know why I fur. On the other hand, to fix your attention on the best is to surround yourself with the best and to become the best. The creative power within. Yes. Makes us into the image of that to which we give our attention. And so that's why I want to do a better job of how I communicate, let's say the word shortcomings. I don't even want to call it shortcoming because even in saying that, it creates a particular frequency or a particular idea that I came up short versus a learned experience that I had.
When we were doing the contemplative morning, and I always said like some Fridays, hey, if you haven't, you got to do your gratefuls today, right? It's very difficult to have anxiety and be grateful. It's also very difficult to be depressed and grateful. It's very difficult. You can't be both. But you can be present. You can be present. You can be present. And so many different ailments. We talked about this psychologically, when you go through those processes, is that these ailments are the ailments and the diseases are basically either causing people to or the result of being elsewhere.
And when you say elsewhere, we're talking mentally. Or
mentally, just not. When people say checked out, you're not here, right?
Yeah,
you're not checked in.
Yeah.
So think about all the so many different ailments are a lot of them a result of or connect to being not here.
What were you thinking? That is such a good question to me. And it could be triggering to me sometimes too, because it's like, because of what I think about, what you think about, what I'm going to say I was thinking about, which is that of an overthinker or overanalyzer. Is like I can see when kids do it who want to get it right, and I'm like, there's no right or wrong here.
Yeah.
What do you think? And it's like you can say it.
My son used to try to do that. I gotta try to answer the question what he think Dad wanted. I'm like, son, first off, that's some BS. No, son, that's some BS. Because one, I'm reading your eyes, I'm reading your mannerisms. You think I want to hear that? Is that what you really want to do?
Right.
And we sit, and he changes. He's like, yeah, okay, that's what's up. It's okay.
Right.
Don't because that's gonna be problematic if you keep trying to like do what your dad wants you to do every time. You at this point, you got to,
right.
He's you almost fully grown, and I'm talking about my oldest right now.
Right.
So, yeah, my youngest, you still need to do what Daddy says.
Yeah,
we gonna release you when it's time. When you go through when you go through the next set of rites, you will get released. But right now, you need to listen and do. Right. Anyway, you gotta be thinking. Yeah, you gotta do things and think in a certain way.
In a certain way.
That's what I need you to be doing.
He said, okay, what's one of them? I got so many things. Let me see, which one do I want to talk about? It must be done. He says, when you try to impress your wants upon the thinking substance, remember that it must be done by a coherent statement. You must know what you want and be specific and definite, which reminds me of Napoleon Hill, as far as like a definite chief aim, things of that nature. And Dave Chappelle said in one of his stand-up specials that he got to do something that a lot of black men aren't able to do in America. He was like, took time to think about how I feel. I think sometimes we just keep moving so much. We're on autopilot, and we are not being intentional about what we want and how we want to go about getting things.
Yeah.
And so we have to turn that autopilot thing off and become aware of what's happening so we can become specific and definite about what it is that we want so we can accomplish that. And the more and more we do that, the more and more it helps us think the way we want to think.
Yep.
So then we can get what we want to get. It's like he's building this thing. That's why whatever your actions are in your life, you planted the seed of whatever that was, and now you have the fruit of it.
Yeah.
And you mad about the fruits. And I'm like, but dude, you planted it, watered it, put sun on it, like whatever What does watering your seeds look like? What does giving it sun look like? What does toiling the earth look like? So then when you pull back what you get, or when you sow what you reap, or reap what you sow.
So much of it plays out, and again, and it plays out for others in the thought and emotion loop. The thought, emotion, and behavior loop. That's what we're talking about. So the thought, let's do it again. Thought, emotion, behavior, result.
Thought, emotion, behavior, result.
And then it loops again. Right? Because the whatever the result was will tell you, it will give you a thought about it. That'll give you an emotion from that thought. And then that'll give you a behavior. And then so if you keep winning, or if you keep losing, or if these things keep happening, then that becomes, this embodied, this automaticity that we would continue, or we would call mindlessness, truthfully, because it's no longer something that you're really even paying attention to anymore. It is how you respond. It is how you move. It is the emotion that you're going to have every single time. I actually think the pattern, and then we talked about the habits. It's about just getting the right habits. It's about supplanting the old habits to make right thinking, and free thinking a part of who and how you operate. So, man, it's crazy, man. It's good.
He dropped so many dimes in here. Yeah. Like, you got to read this book, y'all. It's free too. Like, that's what I'm saying. It reminds me of Chris Rock. You know how you can. Anyway,
you got to do the fingers.
You got to have the fingers doing whatever the fingers doing.
I don't know.
Come on, man. You know how you can hide stuff from that? Put it in a book. Okay. Said. I'm walking around with gold in my hand. Ain't nobody even seeing it.
That's good.
So go ahead.
Yeah, I got a line. He said the more clear and definite you make your picture, then and the more you dwell upon it, bringing out all.
Let's start over. Do that again one more time. I'm like, are you reading a book? Or
wait a minute. Hey, I'm sorry. What? Sorry, Jeff. I think
I don't know what he was.
We got you. All right. The more clear and definite you make your picture, then the more you dwell upon it, bring it out all the delightful details, the stronger your desire will be, and the stronger your desire, the easier it will be to hold in your mind. And fix upon the picture of what you really want, like you were saying earlier. Man, I just wanted to bring that back to us. It's straightforward. You meditate, you pray on it. As we said, you move as it's already has occurred. And this isn't a lot of old ancient text, young people. Sometimes people don't want to hear that though, but it's all good.
You know what? Because I think people don't nobody want to change, but the universe shows you that the thing that stays the same is change. Yeah. You gonna grow old. Yeah. It's just what it is. It's just a part of it. The land I grew up. What you about to say?
I was gonna say, or not. You got two choices.
Okay, so let me say that different then.
Yeah.
Let me say that different. But see, that's why we friends. I love that about you. Yeah. Because if you look at the ground outside, you see it go through the changes just in seasons. Yeah. If you aren't changing with the seasons, then maybe you might want to think about that.
Because you're going to be brown for a while.
Yeah.
It's going to be dead grass out there.
Sometimes.
And it's so if you're not growing, you're dying. That's what our old mentor used to tell me all the time. You got to be growing in some particular way. And if you're not growing, you're dying. And I think we got to think about that in all different places, because the entropy kind of comes into play, where you try to leave things as they are. And actually, if you leave things by itself for long enough, it just goes into more chaos.
What is this in here, or that's another book? Entropy.
That's another book, but I know, but it connects though. You gotta you gotta be pursuing, you gotta be going. Not saying that you got to be crazy with it, but yeah.
I was going to say, because even in death, there's decomposition. Things will grow the way they grow in the way they grow. Like I remember in one episode, we talked about good and bad. And we were saying, well, instead of good and bad, let's call it aligned and misaligned. Yeah. So even if you're aligned with evil, that would be good for you. If that's what you want.
Exactly.
So death, I think, works the same way. So mildew is alive and well, but it is an agent of death.
It's just doing what it's doing. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Mildew is just doing what mildew is doing.
Yeah, it mildew.
It's mildewing.
That's what we do. Yeah. You know? So, man, again, this is an amazing book.
Yeah.
Really here, let's knock one more chapter out.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Using the will. How to use the will, because I'm starting to learn about myself when it comes to certain things. I have willpower, but it's like it needs to be discerned willpower, because I will keep myself. I have kept myself in places I probably shouldn't have because my definite aim was incorrect. It was misaligned. I chose something that I thought I wanted, and I was like, oh, that ain't what I wanted. That's not what I wanted then. Yeah. But I stayed in it just because I thought I was supposed to. So I know I have the willpower. My first girlfriend, if she's out there in the world, she knows. Hey man, I went to DC to go get my wife at that time, and she said, "What the are you doing here?" I'm talking. I got on my knee with a ring and everything in the dorm room. I said, "This is a promise that you will marry me," and she was like, "Oh, the fuck are you doing here?" You know I got a boyfriend now. We had just broke up, but it was a fake breakup, I thought. I was like, no. It was this is how childish it was. She got me to break up with her, and I was like, no, I'm just playing. She's like, nope, too late. I was like, I'm about to go get my wife. And that's when I was playing baseball at Southern Poly, remember? I done left. They kicked me off the team after that. We had a game that weekend. I was like, I got to go get my wife. And I remember my coach looking at me. There was nothing he could have told me, but my will. I got will, dog. I got willpower. You know what I'm saying? I know that. Yeah. But which direction am I facing?
Yeah.
Shout out to first girlfriend in the universe.
Man.
It's all love now. Wait, hold on. Doubt or unbelief is as certain to start a movement away from you as faith and purpose are to start one towards you.
You better read that. That's good, bro.
And so what are we, again, when you feel that.
That's good preaching right there. I'm sorry.
Ain't that good preaching?
Yeah, keep going.
It says the minds of people everywhere, and I'm going to come back down to that one, are influenced toward doing the things necessary to the fulfilling of your desires, and they work for you unconsciously. Mm-hmm. And then it says, but you can check all this by starting a negative. You can check all this by starting a negative impression in the formless substance. And that's why when doubt or disbelief come up or unbelief come up, you know you planted something. You know you like, oh, why I feel like that? What the hell? Mm-hmm. I must have planted. I planted that seed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It says it is by not understanding this that most people make their failure. And hey, man.
He didn't say that most people fail. He said that they make their failure. I think that is very powerful to listen to and read, that you made your failure. And I think that's something like, how do we move into, and then, you know, we've had episodes that we don't fail, we learn. We don't fail, we learn.
Right.
We'll fail,
and learning. Learning is winning, right?
Learning is always winning, you know? So it's just like shifting the lens, what pair of glasses and how you're going to see things, shifting the perspective, shifting your perception so that, you know, you will have clarity. Basically, the clarity allows for certainty, but you got to get into those spaces. So it was spot on, man. This is so good.
Go.
Oh, well, I was reading that since belief is all important, it behooves you to guard your thoughts. And as your beliefs will shape to a very great extent by the things you observe and think about. It just keeps coming back around. I think us to keep that in mind. It's important that you should command your own attention.
That's what that says in yours? In mine, it says it is important that you should carefully govern to what you give your attention. Carefully govern.
1910 version, it says command your attention.
Huh. I wonder what version this is now. But either way, they sound good. But now now my competitive mind has opened up. I'm like, no, I got the original.
I love first edition stuff, man. But like, yeah, I got a lot. Give me some first edition books. I'm like, no, I want to read. I'm going to read what he wrote first.
See, I got the author's preface right here, so I need to know. Yeah, we're going to talk about this later. I'm going to come back in the next. We're going to split this up into 3. We got to.
Yeah, we got one more. We could do it.
Yeah, we got one more. But y'all got to check this book out. Get Rich. That is the best way you can help the poor. Why did he just dropping mics? He just snapping mics.
Get rich. That's the best way you can help the poor.
Yeah. So, and it's easy, of course, for us to say this because what I'm saying is, why not believe that? Why not choose to believe that versus believing I can never get rich?
Well, the reason why so what I start thinking about is, what are the associations you have with wealth or wealthy individuals, or the concepts of wealth? If you believe that if you have unfortunately heard that money is the root of all evil, and unfortunately that is not what the Bible says.
No, it's for the love of money, from what I remember. For the love of money is the root.
I think we have to be careful of like what has made people really have such a strong affinity for lack within the space of, meaning if we have not a lot, then if we don't have abundance, or we just have a lack, your lack equates to your piety. I think that's something like the more you have, and then if we think about the French, we think about a lot of the orders, especially within the Christian church, where they've taken a vow of poverty and so on. That it kind of makes sense, but it ain't in there.
Right?
Is it? It's like it's taking pieces and like, this is what it looks like. I'll even talk about how we do. Some people are doing the practice of tithing and the practice of tithing in the Jewish faith, or like everything in the Old Testament, and then the New Testament is some different stuff, and a different practice that we should be approaching. But I think just getting people in that mindset of that you don't have to. I'll just do it that way. You can be rich and you can be wealthy holistically. And that way you can take care of other people. It's very difficult to be trying to take care of everybody else and you ain't taking care of. So
right, and you don't have the means. Well, we're going to end this out with this statement at the end of chapter 9. Use your willpower to keep your mind off the subject of poverty and to keep it fixed with faith and purpose on the vision of what you want and are creating.
Yeah.
Which I see why it feels like a superpower.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going back to what you were saying, you think it's maybe just the power, but
I know
that's another discussion.
That's another discussion. When we do that book, y'all will see where we're coming from when we come back and do it. We already read it, so it should be still fresh in our mind.
Yes, sir.
As always, this is Trey D
and Gooseberry.
And this is another episode of As a Man Readeth. We will see you on the next episode as we finish up the science of getting rich. Be well.
Adios.
You ain't gonna give him to read a book?
Yeah, I didn't do that last time.
Hey, go read a book.